live again. Let's see if it works. Hey everybody, hope you can hear us. Says we got excellent fucking connection. You might have to come towards me, Albert. They can't see you on the screen. See, just check yourself in this monitor down here. Let us know if you can hear us okay.
Let us know what you guys, if you hear any bullshit ass crackling and shit.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I did a couple of test recordings when before we set up and everything was fine. We were actually recording before we set up some stuff to work on some jingles, and all that shit worked fine. We did a test for the stream, it worked fine, and as soon as we went live, it got all fucky. And then I just restarted my computer, and it seems to be working fine again, so let us know. But I did see that fucking crackling nonsense that was going on. But yeah, tune in. We're just waiting on you guys to see if it's working now. So there you go. I don't want to add that to my queue. Son of a bitch. Tell us a story, Albert. Tell us something else going on while I figure this out.
Well, something that happened recently was that I built a baby crib with my cousin. And
did you get drunk while you did it?
I wanted to. That was the plan. But my cousin has been having some health issues. His heart's kind of, and he would have drank with me. If I would have presented him with a beer, he would have drank it, but...
You're worried about his health?
Yeah, I figured maybe shouldn't do that. I thought about it a lot.
Praise Jeebus! Clark says it's working again.
Jesus.
We didn't fucking do anything. I went through, I unplugged every goddamn thing that we had.
All you did was shut the fucking thing off.
And it wasn't working. Unplugged everything, plugged it back in, nothing worked. So I just restarted my computer, and lo and behold, it works.
The old-fashioned restart the bullshit.
Have you tried turning it on and off again? That's the fucking first thing I should have done.
That next time we know, we're just going to do that.
Well, it sucks because then you got to kill the goddamn live stream.
Well, yeah.
So, anyway, we're back. Thanks for tuning back in, Clark.
You know what? We're going to make this one extra special now.
Right. Let's see if I wonder if the link still works. Let's see real quick.
Stupid motherfucking bullshit.
Annoying ass shit. No, the link doesn't even work. I got to repost the goddamn link.
Trying to get goddamn drunk.
We're getting drunk tonight, Albert. So, what else? So, we're doing the happy half hour. Tell them about other stuff we're doing on Instagram.
Guys,
TikTok.
We're on TikTok. Booze and News. TikTok. I'm sharing clips. With a little bit of an extra twist, with TikTok, you can add some wording to the top of the visuals, and it kind of sets up the video and it in a joke kind of way. That's a little bit unique to TikTok. So for instance, our clip about us talking about dolphins being toxic people, toxic animals. I titled that one in the top of the video, "Why Dolphins Suck." And so people that are on TikTok, they're going to be scrolling through TikTok. The first thing they're going to see is that wording. They're going to read that off the bat. Because that's how the human mind works. You're going to read the thing before you start watching the video. So what that does is that's kind of like hooking in the viewer. And then they are like, oh, okay, this is about dolphins. Let me see what this is about. So it's cool. It's sort of like a memeing. It's like adding a little meme to your video. So yeah, we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're sharing original memes pretty much every day. There might be a day when something's crazy going on in both our lives, and we don't share a meme.
But they say we're too old for TikTok. I'm pretty goddamn old for TikTok, but we've actually had quite a deal of rapid success for these clips. I mean, we're getting thousands of views in like a day.
Yeah, and a bunch of comments and people liking, quoting some shit. and it's weird. Actually, it's honestly weird because I was on TikTok my damn self for a little while now before I started posting our clips, and I wasn't really expecting much because TikTok's kind of a bitch to connect with people on, but our clips have been doing well.
We've tried to figure out the goddamn Clubhouse thing.
Right.
But it's pretty confusing. I don't know if y'all have fucked with the Clubhouse yet. But yeah.
It sounds like it's more of a place to just talk to people, though, right?
I've been on there for like an hour and a half. I couldn't figure out how to actually talk. All I was doing was listening, and that gets kind of old. I wanted to fucking chime in, but
you weren't able to, okay, well,
I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, what would me and you do on there? Like, just chime in on some people's conversation, be like, hey guys, we're from Boozer News. What's up? Like, can we talk too? Can we? That's the part that I'm kind of confused about. Like, it seems like it's just a place to be social, literally, just social.
Well, we got a little bit of some stuff we wanted to talk about. I'm glad everything's working now. You guys can hear us. Albert, come towards me a little bit so they can be in the shot. It's good to have Albert back for a change. It's been probably like 2 months since we've been able to film together. Just because my, I was worried about risk, and my dad is like super high risk and all that. He's really, had a lot of heart attacks, obese and all that. But yeah, so we're here today. I'm just pulling up my notes. I know I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit. This is the last week of February. We're going to be doing the show, so I wanted to talk a little bit about some more Black History stuff. Happy Black History Month to you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
I know I saw someone's question why we only do 30 minutes. Well, today we're going to do more because we fucked up. But we do the happy half hour for 30 minutes because we do a bunch of other shows. We're doing an Instagram TV show on Sundays. If y'all want to follow us on Instagram for that, that's another live stream that we do.
Yeah. That we just started, but yeah.
And then we do the full show on that's up every Saturday, usually around 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is long form, like 15-minute segments. It's usually about 2 hours. So we're making a lot of content.
The original memes?
Yeah, we're doing memes all the time. I'm also going to be doing a whole segment strictly on global news now, which will be probably on Saturday or Sunday, where I want to. I might be going live with that. We'll see, but I definitely want people to chime in on that discussion with me. So yeah, John said we have to host our own room on Clubhouse. I tried that, and I think I'm just not following enough people to get anyone to come in. So, yeah. But yeah, we're just keeping making the content. Someone said they thought this was Booze and Bites. I don't know what that is. It sounds good. Like food and booze kind of thing. This is Booze and News.
We could add some bites at some point or another.
Well, I have a food show, a cooking show that I've been working on. It's in the works. That should be up soon. Which is fun. I basically get really drunk and fucked up, and I try to make something for the first time that's pretty complicated. So
You like cooking too.
I like just torturing myself. I'm like a sadomasochist.
You're a nihilist.
Yeah. So I just want myself to suffer as much as possible. Now you have to come this way. You can't lean that way, then you get out of shot.
Okay. Well, what? All right.
All right. Let's get into what we have today. So it's a Black History Month. Of course, that pisses a lot of people off, like we've been talking about.
Racist people.
Have you seen? Make sure you come towards me a little bit, like at least lean in this way. So have you seen the thing with Coca-Cola?
No.
All right. I don't know if y'all have seen the thing with Coca-Cola out there, but Coca-Cola had well, it wasn't officially their training session, but they had on LinkedIn a training session that they were encouraging or maybe some of the employees said it was made mandatory
Mm-hmm.
to go take these like sensitivity kind of racial trainings, in which a slide from the training told the Coca-Cola employees to be less white.
What?
Yeah. And that triggered a whole bunch of white people.
That seems like a joke. That can't be real. I mean, I feel like Coca-Cola knew what they were doing. They wanted some publicity. I can't say that word.
Oh, publicity? No, it wasn't. It was nothing about that. So they took segments out of this book that this woman wrote called White Fragility. Okay, and if you guys get a chance, it's actually a decent read. And most white people just won't even fucking read it because there's like this weird machoism, right?
Right.
Which is the whole point of reading the book about white fragility, right? Understanding, it's not your fault for being white, but what white people have done with racism and society,
Right.
and what our culture continues to do. And then there's of course like critical race theory and all this that plays into that. Like, how does race play into the legal system and all that, right? But she said that they used her quotes out of context, actually, and I can see where they kind of did, because I actually watched the slideshow, because they said like basically being white was like, or to be less white was to be less oppressive, listen, believe, and break with white solidarity. Just very interesting. I mean, it was like a very Karen thing to do, to immediately complain and sue,
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird place for. I mean, it's to work at Coca-Cola, like.
Well, it's a global company. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
It's not just American, by the way. But yeah. Oh, so here we go. So anyway, that was some Black History Month stuff that's been happening. Caused a lot of issues. Also, in the news, there's a lot of news going on with Amazon. Have you seen any of that going on with the union? So Amazon has famously been anti-union, right?
Yeah, because they don't want to give shit to their employees.
Right. They're stingy bastards who cut corners. I mean, we saw that with the way they handled COVID-19, especially, right? Like, they were having employees who were not certified nurses or nurse techs, right? Or any kind of medical training, deliver these COVID-19 testing. Some of these people were drivers, like just regular old folks, and no idea. They didn't give them PPE.
Wow.
They didn't give them the social distancing they need to perform the test without getting sick, right? They were doing them in reportedly in like break rooms and shit. And yeah, I mean, that's never going to end well. But it's just another thing of like penny pinching and cutting corners,
Yeah.
And
That's what rich people do.
They've been anti-union. They've hired Pinkerton thugs to break up union. They've been reportedly spying on their employees using like infrared, what do you call it? Like cameras and shit in the warehouses to make sure they don't congregate, all under the guise of like COVID-19, right? Like, oh, you can't congregate.
Yeah.
But really, it's like, oh, we just don't want you guys at work or after work ever talking about how we're fucking you over. So yeah, let me pull this up. There's been a couple of court cases that have arisen suing Amazon. One of the big ones is in New York. Chris Smalls, who we talked about on the show, he was fired from Amazon.
As we've covered
I
on
gotta
the
pull all this shit up. He was fired from Amazon, and there was an email that got leaked about him, if you remember, that called him basically not smart for trying to raise concerns about COVID-19, hazard pay, and and now there's a suit. The New York Attorney General has moved to sue Amazon in a similar suit that Smalls had filed against them for flagrant disregard for workplace safety codes and frontline workers. So we'll see how that goes. But there's even a bigger suit going on in Alabama. So I'm going to pull this up so y'all can see it. And let's see. We've got... Here we go. Pull this up. I'm going to get rid of all this... I have all these ad blockers, and they don't really do jack shit. browser. All right, here we go. Got to adjust it. So if y'all can see this here, pop this up. Can't wait till we have our green screen set up. That should be up soon. We're fucking around with that today. So if y'all can see this here, in Alabama, which is actually a high union state, a long history of union workers. But you can see here it says, Daryl Richardson was delighted when he landed a job as a picker at the Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama. I thought, wow, I'm going to work for Amazon, work for the richest man, and it would be a nice facility that would treat you right. Well, we obviously know that that's not what happened. He says he complained about the fast, unrelenting pace of work and about seeing coworkers terminated for falling behind Amazon's production quotas. Yeah, man. I mean, these people have been working their ass off. Amazon has made a fuckload of money during COVID. You know, Bezos has become billions of dollars richer.
Well, we talked about this, and what they need to do is go on a fucking huge strike. Look, you can't. Here's the thing: you're gonna. I understand. You can't complain and then show up to work at the same time.
Right. And there's so many people are dependent upon Amazon, right? That if they all strike, I mean, this is kind of what you're seeing when we've covered some of the strikes in like India, the solidarity there, right? I mean, they have shut shit down.
Yeah.
Because they all did it. And the labor force is so huge that you can't just scab workers. You can't find all these people to replace these people, right? That quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can replace some of them, but it's going to bottleneck, right? So that's why union strikes work, and they have to meet some of their demands. Yeah, I mean, if they're getting $15 an hour, which is a part of the whole thing of where, you know, even when we talk about raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, right? I mean, it's still like $30,000 a year. Still not enough to pay for a fucking house in this economy.
It's not
or any of that shit.
It's not a lot, and it's not. I mean, I don't understand how these companies that make all this money want to give their employees this amount of money. It doesn't matter what they're fucking doing at the job. What matters is how much is the company worth. If you're working for a company, you're cleaning the goddamn toilets, but the company's worth goddamn an infinite amount of money. You should pay that guy cleaning your toilets a shitload of money, because he's not just cleaning any toilets, he's cleaning your toilets.
Well, it's just that you have to pay people a living wage, whatever the fuck it is, right?
Right.
I mean, and if $15 is what they're saying is the living wage, that's the bar minimum, right?
Yeah.
Then when you're working your ass off at fucking Amazon, right, and you have these crazy, insane quotas, I mean, it basically has replaced the Postal Service, right?
Right.
And then the Postal Service was kind of famous for working their fucking workers back in the day to the bone. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
I mean, fuck, I'm wearing
any fucking job.
I'm wearing my Bukowski shirt right now. He has a book called Post Office, which I definitely recommend that you guys go check out. Just about how goddamn miserable that shit was for years and years. But
yeah, no, it's just, I mean, like I said, like this all falls back on the employees not making a stand and still showing up to work because they have bills. And it's just like, you have bills because you put yourself in a situation to have bills, and you have to make sacrifices for change. And we're not going to see that shit. And people got to stop showing up to these fucking jobs. They got to stop applying to these jobs. And if you know someone that's going to apply for this type of work, you tell them don't do it and go work at some place that's a little bit easier.
Well, I don't know.
Shit pay.
I think that I think it would be a fine job if they paid them correctly, right? Yeah, I think that the way that you get any of that shit, right, is to strike, and you have to. There are some other options of totally changing the system, right? But right now, the only real option is like unions, and I'm glad that Amazon is potentially getting its first unions, man. I mean, this could be huge. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure Amazon is going to employ these fucked up tactics, which is like, oh, well, we'll just leave the state then. Fuck you. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's kind of, if that's what they want to do in a free market capitalist society, then someone else can come make their own Amazon or whatever, right?
Exactly.
But it's hard to build up that infrastructure. John says that employees like him in Seattle make $245,000 a year, and Bezos doesn't come into contact with lower end employees. That's right. I mean, they have no idea.
You get rid of bills. You get rid of bills by being creative and thinking outside the box. You know, you can't obviously you can't be living in an apartment of your own if you once you sign a lease to an apartment or to whatever or buy a house, you're done. Like you just fucked yourself. So that all has to change. But that's a whole other discussion which we've had before.
I understand what you're saying about what do you do about the bills, right? But if that's the mentality you're going to keep forever, then nothing ever needs to change. Why did we ever stop letting children work? You know what I mean? They took away those damn kids' jobs that were working in child slavery. You know what I mean? Oh, they had to pay their bills too. No, what we do is we fix the fucking environment to where working class people make a living wage and can have some kind of dignity, right? I mean, you have to make stands in some places. I mean, this argument that minimum wage shouldn't be higher, right? Or that these people who are frontline in workers, I mean, everybody has been ordering their shit off of Amazon, right?
Yeah.
If there was no fucking Amazon, where would these people be right now, right? They wouldn't have the shit. They'd have to go into stores. The virus would be going even crazier, right? Yeah. It's actually helped. So what they need to do is take some of their profit margin that they've made and give that to their employees. They should be giving them hazard pay. I mean, they did it with some of the frontline workers at grocery stores for like the first 2 months, and then the greedy cocksuckers at Kroger or whatever took it all away.
And why the government doesn't intersect in this type of shit makes no fucking sense. Okay, I don't know how the government lets these. So if I happen to stumble across $20 million, let's say I find $20 million.
Well, there's no finding that. But Clark has a point where he's saying, oh, nothing is handed to you. You got to put in some work. Clark, I would challenge you to go stop doing whatever fucking job you do for a day and go work in like a fast food place where you're getting slammed nonstop, right? And see if that's not actually hard work. I mean, I know that if you can get an education, you can get a degree and get a better job. But that's not just easy for fucking everybody out there, right?
100%.
So not everybody can just afford that, right? Most of this wealth in this country has been handed down through inheritance. That's fact. 60% of all wealth in this country is inherited. So the people who didn't inherit any wealth, they are very likely to not be able to afford the college or education they need to get a better job. They got to work this shitty-ass job, and if they can't put aside any savings because the payment is so low, then they're never going to be able to go to school to better their life. This is a cyclical problem, right? So the issue is that we can make these jobs pay better. There's no reason why fucking a McDonald's can't pay $15 an hour. If you say that, oh, it'll make my Big Mac more expensive, go look at what's happening in like the Netherlands, where they pay their employees $20-something an hour, and guess what? The Big Mac costs the same amount of money. You have been lied to by McDonald's, okay? You've been fucking lied to. All you got to do is cut some of the fat at the top, not at the bottom. All right, we're going to move on to another thing which is good for working class people, and that is a story about how Illinois has become the first state to sign a law eliminating cash bail. And the reason why this is important, Albert, is because if you've ever been arrested, you've ever been to jail, right?
I know a little bit about this.
They give you an option for cash bail, okay? And what happens is if you're rich,
right,
you can afford that cash bail.
Right.
And then you know who systematically has more money, right?
Right.
If you're poor, you can't afford that cash bail. So this is more of just a way of rewarding rich people in our fucked up criminal justice system, right?
And punishing poor people.
By eliminating cash bail, right? What you're doing is giving everybody the same privilege that those rich people have had this whole time.
Right. Yeah.
And they do say that some people will still be held without the opportunity of cash bail, right?
Right.
But there's some other things that goes into this bill as well. It says that let's see. That this would require all police in the state to wear body cameras, which I guess in Illinois was not a legal requirement. You know, so pretty good stuff there coming out of Illinois. he says you have to apply yourself. You're going to be waiting a long time for $20 per hour. I've made $20 an hour. I've had my own company, man. I've worked my ass off, Clark Griswold. I actually have paid my employees every job that I've had people that have worked for me. I've paid them about double the fucking minimum wage just because, one, the motivation is that if I pay people a wage that's better, right, they're going to work harder. They're not going to want to leave that job to find another shittier job, right? And then I don't have to spend time training people. And we're talking about service industry jobs, right? Clark Griswold, I hate to say it, but you're just wrong. Go look up the definition of what minimum wage is. It is a living wage. It's not a job for teenagers. That is some Republican nonsense that they have been saying for fucking way too goddamn long. Minimum wage was always meant to be a living wage to give people some dignity. All right. Let's move on to the next topic that we have at hand, which is going to be Texas and what's going on. I want to play you guys a little video. Hey, Albert, I don't know if you've seen this yet. This shit is fucking hilarious. So let me pull this up for you. Everybody knows that we had this terrible storm, I think, by now in Texas, right? Fuck the state up. You had all of this, winter storm. It just destroyed us. The energy system here is so deregulated and corrupt, right? Yeah. That it was allowed to do that. Because prices are good when they're good, and when they're bad, we'll charge you $16,000 fucking dollars, right? Which is what they charged like a veteran, right, who has no money. But anyway, we got Texas. In Texas, we like to repay people because we're good people here for their hard work. So we got Ted Cruz a little gift since he couldn't go to Cancun, y'all. This is outside of Ted Cruz's house. Couldn't make it to Cancun, Ted, but we brought a little something for you. A little bit of a vacation for you, you treasonous fuck. So good. So goddamn good. So there you go. That's the Texans' way, y'all. That's what we do.
Did he comment on this at all? I doubt.
I doubt it. All I know is that he said, that he was pissed that his neighbor leaked his text messages. Did you see that? They were in like some group chat with her neighbors, and his wife was like telling the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or whoever that they were going to Cancun, and that everybody who could should come with them. And the text people were, if you read through them, it's disgusting, man, because some of the people were like, I mean, if you're a regular-ass person, that's one thing. If you're a fucking senator or governor or whatever, you don't leave people that you're supposed to represent in a time of crisis. Right? I mean, just think about this double standard when people go, oh, it's fine. What if, it's goddamn a war going on? You're like, well, we're just going to pop over to Cancun for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While our citizens are dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's what you get when you vote Republican, Clark. Clark, that's what you get when you vote Republican. You get guys like that. What do you got to say about that, man?
Well, I know. How do you even make excuses for Ted fucking Cruz? You know what I mean?
Making excuses for any Republican. We got to make excuses for them all the fucking time. They don't do shit. All they do is fuck around and think about themselves. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, yeah, look what happened. I mean, it was during George Bush's term under governor that he allowed this whole deregulation of our power grid in Texas, right? To happen. And their whole argument was like, oh, well, we're going to when it's cheap, right? When demand is low, you'll have the cheapest prices ever. And then when demand is high, well, there's no fucking cap on it. So you have this guy, Texas Army veteran, facing $16,000. Let me pull the article up. $16,000. As billionaire gas producer and Dallas Cowboys owner stands to profit from it. So there you go. That's some good shit. It's full-on war on poor people and working class people. You know what I mean? And there's this callousness among anybody who makes over like $80,000 a year to think that they fucking are so macho, badass, whatever, when they don't even realize they're still just fucking poor people. Unless you're making over $150,000 a year, I don't want to hear anything about being like upper middle class or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all horse shit. So, but yeah, this guy feels broken. I mean, you're going to see a lot of people if they don't. Right now there's a moratorium on this in Texas, Albert. Who knows how long it will last, right?
Right.
But this is going to destroy a lot of people if they can't resolve this.
Yeah, 100%. Just like I said, it's one thing after another. It never stops. You know, there's a storm. Oh, we weren't prepared. Oh, and the guys that had light, if you didn't suffer, we're gonna make you suffer regardless. You didn't just come. You know, you don't get no free ride.
One of the guys that designed this is how fucked up they are, right? There are people that are going to lose their houses. There's a fucking pandemic going on, right?
Right.
They can't afford a $16,000 power bill. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
And one of the guys who created it, this guy named Roland Burns, right? He said this week is like hitting the jackpot with some of these incredible prices. Frankly, we were able to sell at super premium prices for a material amount of production. So he's fucking happy about it.
That's insane.
And I don't know, man. I can't advocate anything here, but I know that in history this has not ended too well for these kind of cocksuckers. When you have people out there who can't afford food, who have been homeless, and you just keep gouging the fuck out of them. So yeah, go ahead and keep saying let them eat cake, you know, and we'll see what the fuck happens to y'all. And yeah. So let's see. We got some discussion going on here.
Clark, if you don't vote or pay taxes, no one cares what you think or say. Who said that?
That's what Clark said.
No, I know, but Clark's making it sound like it's a true statement.
Oh, he's saying that because you don't
Anyone
vote.
Can buy candy
or
and
I
pay
think
taxes on it. I'm talking about state property, school taxes, etc.
Well, I vote and I pay taxes, Clark.
Clark, you're talking about shit no one gives a fuck about.
And there's sales tax. John's right. So everybody pays taxes. Even fucking illegal immigrants pay fucking taxes.
Exactly, man.
So anyway, this has been the happy half hour. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Clark, and go read a book on how all this works. You know, then you might know what the fuck we're talking about. Because right now you're just saying a bunch of bullshit.
Well, it is what it is. It's all gonna get. It won't get fixed until we tax people correctly, man.
Right.
And all these people want to be cucks for the 1% when they're never gonna make that kind of money in their life. But they dream. Keep on dreaming, y'all. So cheers, you guys. Thanks for tuning into the happy half hour. We got a whole bunch of shit to film. We will be back next week. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. Hit that bell so you're notified when we go live again. I will be doing a global news segment, which is going to be a new segment that I'm going to be starting, which I'm excited about, and I want you guys to tune into because it's a chance to look at the news, and it's where we learn. You can learn more about ourselves from seeing what's happening in the rest of the world than really just looking in a mirror sometimes, you know. So excited to be doing an entire segment on that soon. So thanks again for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week. Cheers.
Cheers, Clark.